Thanks so much for tuning in to this First Alert Weather Plus extended forecast. I'm Audrielle Tackett. Let's talk about what's on the way. I think we've all noticed at this point that we're seeing above average warmth this week. That is all thanks to high pressure. It's keeping it warm and very quiet. So clear blue skies for the most part, very pleasant conditions outside. We'll see temperatures continue to inch upward all the way through Friday across southwest Idaho and eastern Oregon. So by the end of the work week, we're looking about 20 plus degrees above average for the last few days of winter and the first few days of astronomical spring. But by this weekend, we will see temperatures cool. Breezy conditions will pick up as well. Looking at March 17th for St. Patrick's Day, there was a record broken in Burns, Oregon, which reached 76 degrees. The previous record was 72 degrees. So about a 50-year record there. Long-standing records are being broken this week due to this warmth that we're anticipating. Now, if you're watching this before Wednesday afternoon, before we know those high temperatures, then we are expecting to hit these forecast highs there in the orange color. So Boise, forecast high for Wednesday is 76. That would break the previous record of 74. Twin Falls also expecting to break a record. McCall and Ontario getting pretty close to it Wednesday afternoon. A reminder, we are normally in the 50s for Boise this time of year. So we're already seeing temperatures 20 plus degrees above average. And we'll see that all the way through the end of the work week, as I mentioned. So Thursday, we're not exactly expecting to break a record with the forecast high of 77, but we're getting pretty close. The record is 80 degrees. This is the first 80-degree day record in March for Boise, and that is back from 1997. So we didn't break that this year, but by Friday, Boise then may hit 80 degrees. That would shatter the record of 74 degrees from 1877. So more than 100 years of this record. This is how unusual this warmth is for this time of year. Friday is also the first day of spring. By Saturday, look at these temperatures. They fall off about 10 to 15 degrees and then stay a little bit cooler all the way through Monday. But we say cooler, that's compared to what we're experiencing this week. Cooler still means that we will still be several degrees above average, as we're normally in the 50s this time of year. We're no stranger to the warmer than average temperatures. We've had warm winters altogether. These numbers are based on the 25-26 meteorological winter. So that is December, January, and February. So those numbers have technically come to an end and are official winter numbers here that we're looking at. Boise wrapped up being the second warmest winter with an average temperature of 39.1 degrees. That's taking all the high temperatures, all the cold, low temperatures, and averaging those out. Twin Falls is the one location that saw its warmest record ever on record. Now, mind you, Twin Falls does have a much shorter record period than Boise, but still very significant with an average temperature of 37.5 degrees through the season. Jerome saw its second warmest winter that is ever on record, and McCall saw its 8th warmest winter ever on record. So across the region, it was a above average winter. I think we know that by now due to the lack of snow that we had all hoped and wished for. And now we're transitioning to spring. This week, we're thinking that warm weather to high pressure, which is spinning clockwise, dominating most of the western states. As you can see, they're all under this big, broad ridge of high pressure, which is directing moisture coming in from the west up and to the north of our region in southwest Idaho and eastern Oregon. So northern Idaho, Washington, still seeing some showers, but it's just to the north of us thanks to that ridge of high pressure. We will see temperatures climb in the west all the way through Friday. That's when Boise's expecting to hit 80. Still in the 50s on average this time of year, and still seeing temperatures warmer than some of the other major cities in the northwest, such as Seattle and Eugene, which will be in the 50s and the 60s. We're comparing to Los Angeles, which is expecting to hit 81, a place that is frequently warmer than our location, especially in the winter months. Phoenix by Friday, 107 degrees is the forecast high. Phoenix is usually in the 70s this time of year. So even though that's an area that is typically hotter, that is still significant warmth, 20 plus, 25 plus degrees above average. As we look to the upper Midwest and the East Coast, temperatures are cooler, although they are sitting slightly above average or right around average. So not extreme warmth and much cooler than the west coast, as there's some cooler air that's been coming in from Canada into the upper Great Lakes, giving them some very light showers, and that may be the case by this weekend as well. As of Wednesday afternoon, this is the current setup. We know the big broad ridge of high pressure dominating the western U.S., but the east coast, the upper Great Lakes region does have a trough at play right now. There's some moisture along the east coast as well, although most of that is sitting offshore. Playing this out through the rest of the week, our ridge will be broken down by a shortwave trough, so it's going to flatten and we're going to see some zonal flow, which means that the atmospheric flow is moving from west straight to the east. So that's going to allow cooler air to stay in our northwest region for several days, and then that's when we see some precipitation. If you can see this light green color here coming back into the region in southwest Idaho. Meanwhile, precipitation also coming a little heavier into the east coast as well through the weekend. So that's when we'll see those changes. Now, in the short-term period, by Saturday, Boise's not expecting to see precipitation. In fact, the Treasure Valley really isn't. McCall, the West Central Mountains, is, however. So first, a couple more days where there could be records broken for these afternoon temperatures. McCall reaching the low to mid 60s. Notice that the records on Thursday and Friday are 63 for McCall. So those could be broken Thursday and Friday, and then that shortwave disturbance comes in, brings a cold front, triggers some showers in the west central mountains, and starts dropping the temperatures. Although the temperatures are not too frigid, it could be some rain showers that do come into the picture. For the Treasure Valley, including Boise Metro, we're not expecting those precipitation chances on Saturday. It'll just drop our temperatures, and then by Tuesday, we're looking at a low coming from Alaska. That will then elevate our precipitation chances a little bit, 30%, nothing too extreme right now. Doesn't look like we're going to get a washout by any means. Here's your 7-day forecast for Twin Falls. Temperatures well above average for this time of year. Upper 70s to low 80s to start off the spring season. Then temperatures falling to the 70s on Saturday. Again, not expecting precipitation in the Magic Valley either, but breezy conditions will pick up. It will continue to get cooler all the way through Sunday. So we're looking at the 60s then to start the following work week. We're seeing sunny to partly cloudy skies for the next 7 days ahead. Boise seeing a very similar pattern. Lots of sunshine, warm temperatures all the way through Friday for the start of astronomical spring. Then that cold front comes in early Saturday, brings in some cloud cover, makes those winds ramp up just a little bit, drops our temperatures to the 60s. Sunday will be the coolest day over the next week ahead of us, and then we'll stay in the 60s for the start of the following work week, when we then have partially cloudy skies. So enjoy the warmth now, enjoy the sunshine now. If you like the summer weather, get outside now before it goes away for this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us for this First Alert Weather Plus extended forecast. We'll catch you next time.